everyone, welcome back to the Fit to Travel podcast. I am so excited for today. We're doing another student interview, and today I am here with Jess. I'm really excited for this interview because I think, first of all, Jess is just a great person and you're going to love her. I think she has a cool UGC journey and story. So, Jess, would you mind just giving a quick introduction about who you are, where you live, what you currently do for work, and anything else you want to tell us?
Yes, hello. I am so happy to be here. My name is Jess. I have been doing UGC or working with UGC for about a year now. And I am also a professional massage therapist. I do body work. I run a business right down the street from where I live here in Vancouver, Washington. So I love exploring the Northwest in my free time. And I started doing UGC so I can do more of that because it's really hard to, keep up with clients and also have like a fun, adventurous life when I want to be on the road at the same time. So trying to craft that perfect balance over here. And yeah, I'm outdoors girly. I'm really into body movement, aerial silks. I like to highline pretty much anything outside.
I feel that.
Yes.
Yeah, I also love being outside. I feel like a lot of my audience and my people, like we kind of connect through just like a love of travel and the outdoors and that flexibility of just like having the time to go travel and be outside and do what we love. And yeah, I definitely feel like you and I are similar in that way.
Definitely something that attracted me to your course and to learning from you is because you totally gave off that vibe. And I was like, this girl gets it. Like, and it's so important to, I think, like learn from people. Anytime you want to learn a new skill or a hobby, or even finding mentors, that's someone who is living a similar lifestyle to what you want. Maybe not to the T, but there
Yeah.
has to be some kind of similarity for them to really understand you and for you to really understand them on a level that works, you
Yeah.
know?
I
Mhm.
totally agree. So take me back. When did you start UGC?
Okay, so I actually started UGC. Let's see, I did your course, the accelerated course last August. Prior to that, and around like March or April, I saw one of your reels actually, and you were like eating charcuterie, and you're like something like just an outdoorsy girly, like eating cheese and crackers while working from my van or something like that nature. I don't know
Yep.
if you remember the
I
reel.
totally do.
And
That's
that's
so
the first
funny.
time I saw you, and I was like, "Oh, who's this girl? Like, what is she doing?" And within a month, I like did you had like at the time a free class online, like a 1 hour workshop. And
Mhm.
I was like, wow, this is something I could really get into. So that last spring is when I was like dipping my toes in the water and trying to do it on my own and carve my own path.
Mhm.
And I struggled to just like know which way to go when I came to, a crossways or knowing the next steps. And last fall is when I joined the accelerator program, and it definitely accelerated me. By the end of the program, I was sealing deals. And that's when I really dived into UGC. I was doing it for about 10 hours a week on average, trying to juggle it with my bodywork business,
Mhm.
which I was doing full time at the time. So it was a little bit of a push. Since then, I've been able to drop to part time, which has been
Woohoo.
incredible. And now I'm only offering bodywork 3 days a week, which is so much better on my body, so much better for my clients. And I'm doing UGC just about 2 days a week right now and filling in on the weekends when I need to or want to. And I've even been like taking a month off here or there whenever life gets busy. And that's what I love about this kind of work is you can like put your foot down on the gas when you need to or ease up on the brakes if something comes up for yourself and really pace it for yourself at a
Yeah.
cadence that feels nice for you, you
No,
know?
it's so flexible. That's what I love about it too, because I can do it as much or as little as I want. Like if I'm like, okay, you know what? I just
Mhm.
want to make, an extra $1,000 a month this month, but like, I don't need a full-time income. Great, you can do that. Or if I'm like, all right, I want to make more money, I can literally just be like, great, I'm gonna pitch a ton more and I'm gonna film more and I can make a lot more money. So it's cool because kind of no matter where you are like in life, I feel like you can make UGC work because you can do UGC like 5, 10 hours a week. And like you can totally do that. Or if you want to make more money with it, you can do it more. But that's what I love about the UGC space is it really does vary so much between like people who do it full time and travel full time or like stay at home moms. Like it's just a whole spectrum. So I love that about it too. I also like love what you said about and I still have a master class. If you're listening to this and you're like, what was that training that she talked about? It's linked below and it's just a like free masterclass that you can watch that kind of breaks down like what is UGC, kind of how do you get started. And I love that you talked about how you saw that and we're just like, wait, like this is totally something I can do. And it's cool to see your journey to be like, you actually did it. And like this is actually real. And I think a lot of people online, like you can see all these things about different side hustles or things that people are doing. And it can feel A, overwhelming, and B, like, is this actually real? Like, are people
Mhm.
actually doing this? And you're a good testament to like, yeah, you literally saw this video on the internet and then you were like, okay, is this real? Can I do it? And now you're doing it.
100%. Yeah, it's so funny to look back. And when I first started, I was like, I have no skill set here. Like, who is she? What am I doing? Like, but just following like step by step along. And the whole time, my mantra was like, if you put energy into something long enough, you're going to get something out of it, you know? And
Mhm.
I had no intention of even allowing UGC to take up this much of my time in a really healthy way. But I was like, you know what? If I could make an extra 200, $300 a month, like that's a win. That is so helpful. And
Yeah.
I feel like oftentimes people see programs or online courses, get rich things, and they're like, oh, like I can't just like start a new job right now or like, oh, that person's making six figures right away. And sometimes that's real. That does exist out there. But a lot of the times, like it's not that. And that's okay. But I think people shut it out completely because of that. But really, if you just dabbled a little bit, you can still make some income and that can still alter your life. Like having one more day where you can work from home if you don't work from home is within your work week, like that is so helpful by
Mhm.
itself, you know, especially if you have kids, especially if you're running another business or you're just tired, health
Mhm.
issues. I don't know. There's so many examples. And I
Yeah.
think people, yeah, just shut it out at the example of someone making too much money to like, that's a get rich quick scheme. But it's like, no, like you can also make a little bit of money and still change your whole world, you
I
know?
completely agree with that. And I love that kind of perspective of even if this isn't something that you're like, I want to take full time or I want to make $5,000 a month, like $500 a month is life-changing for
Yeah.
a lot of people, and, like, in so many ways, whether that's paying for you to travel every month, whether that's paying for your kids' daycare, like, that's life-changing, and you don't have to jump into it being like, "I need to make a ton of money right now," and I don't recommend that people get into it that way because
No.
that's not the reality for most people getting into UGC, like, it takes a few months for you to really gain traction, get experience, land bigger deals. And it's, I always say UGC is a long game. If you listen to this podcast, you know I've said this a million times on here, but like it is. It's a long game. And also, it's something that you can literally do for years and years to come, and that has been my approach to it as well. So, like, I don't do UGC full time anymore. UGC coaching is now my main job, and that is what I do, like, full time, and I do UGC on the side. So, like, I get to choose how much time do I wanna put into UGC? How much do I wanna make from UGC this month? And,
Mhm.
like, I think, like, a month ago, I only did, like, $1,000 in deals, and then this past month I was like pitching a ton and I sent out like $4,000 worth of proposals. So I'm just like, there's like literally such a range and it really is up to you. But what I think is cool is I could do this for as long as I want. It's going to be a long-term industry and I know that some people debate that because of AI and like all these things, but I know it's going to be around for at least the next 5 to 10 years, okay?
Mhm.
And I know that it's just gonna be there on the back burner. So it's like whatever course my life takes, UGC will always be there for me to kind of jump back in if and when I want to,
Yeah, totally.
which
Mhm.
is cool.
That's been my experience the last like few months, actually, as I kind of mentioned before. Like life got a little crazy and I had a little anxiety. I was like, I'm not focusing on UGC, I'm not focusing on it. But it was so nice to be able to just pause. And
Mhm.
it doesn't really cost there's not much unless you're like paying for a bunch of platforms or like monthly subscriptions to automate things. And even then, it still isn't that expensive. Like it doesn't cost that much to run it. You could do it without any cost, honestly.
Mhm.
All you need is your phone, and be able to like reach out to people in a couple hours a week. But yeah, being able to have that flexibility to, like I said, put your foot on the gas when you want to and ease up when you want is so beautiful. And every time I drop in, even if it's for like, I haven't done UGC or worked in like pitched in 2 or 3 weeks. If I spend 2 hours or 3 hours on it, something comes back, or at least
Yep.
like getting a response that's even like a, we're not looking for creators right now, no thanks. Like just hearing back is like, oh yeah, this is right here. And maybe this next person does want someone. And usually within a few people, or brands, you do get a deal or just
Mhm.
a response back or interest. And then that kind of like propels me, and then gets me more motivated. And I'm like, oh yeah, here we are. More gas now.
Same. No, I'm the same way. I would love to hear a little bit about your experience starting UGC and, like, running a business full time, like your bodywork business. Like, what was that like balancing having a full-time job and trying to start UGC?
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, it was a little chaotic, but not to the extreme to where it like drained me or anything like that. But, I wanted to go all in on both. I'm a very
Mhm.
ambitious girly. So I was doing body work full time. I wasn't doing hands on massage 40 hours a week, but like with bookkeeping, scheduling, cleanup, all that kind of stuff, it did add up to about 40 hours a week. And so I started off just 1 day a week working on UGC, whether that was like building my portfolio, just testing, like recording videos and getting used to be in front of the camera. And once I kind of got the ball rolling and started like putting a portfolio together, I got more excited. So I was like, okay, let me just like add in a little bit more. And I timed it really well with the seasons. I was kind of playing with it in the summertime. And then once like fall and winter hit, I was like, well, now the sun is out less. I'm a little bit more introverted in winter naturally. And so I started working on it more in the winter time, which felt really good.
Mm.
So I didn't feel like I was like wasting playtime, because running a business already, adding in a second one, because UGC is a business, I was like, oh gosh, like where's time for me? I need that. And the whole time I did make sure I had days where I did neither. That way I didn't fully burn out. But
Yeah.
the more I focused on UGC, I just kept cutting like some hours off of body work to add in a little bit more time for UGC as it would grow. And at the beginning, there were totally some nights where I was up till midnight working on it, listening to like lessons or working on my portfolio, crafting pitches. I definitely gave up a few weekends, but not all of them. I was still able to have a lot of like my personal life. I just had to be very
Mhm.
disciplined and like time blocking was very helpful. Like I'm working on bodywork business right now. I'm going to get as much done as I can, and that's enough. And now I'm going to focus on UGC. And after 2 hours, like I'm going to have some me time. That way I'm still motivated to
Yep.
focus on either of these, right? So it was a lot, but I was able to kind of tailor it a little bit. And I think I do have an advantage. I make my own schedule with bodywork. So that was very helpful.
Mhm.
However, before that, I worked in restaurants and I could see where like even though you work from someone else, you could, drop a day, which feels like a little bit of risk, but that also puts a
True.
fire under your butt sometimes. It's like, okay, like I'm not going to have
Yeah,
income
so
here.
true.
So I better like actually work on this and focus. So that way something does come out of it sooner. And it's really beautiful how things naturally work out like that most of the time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, no, it's so true how, like, when you force yourself into a situation where you have to make something
Yeah.
work, you make it work. And, like, when you go down a shift at your job, when you ask them to go hybrid, when you take off a day a week, it's like you're literally intentionally saying to the universe, "Hey, like, I am putting this time aside for this. I'm going to make this work. And if I don't make it work, like that might have consequences. You know what I mean? Like I might make less money or I might spend less time with my friends this week. And like you're literally there are consequences on the line where it's like, okay, I have to make this work because if I don't make this work, these things will happen that I don't want to happen. And I've always been someone who thrives in those environments of just like all right, I gotta figure shit out. Otherwise, I can't pay rent. Like, I literally lived that way for a while where I was just like, I've always been a leaper, a jumper. I'm just like, okay, I'm going all in. Otherwise, I know that I'll always kind of have like one foot in, one foot out, or like I'll never fully commit. And so big fan of like literally forcing yourself into
Yeah, it's
situations where
really
you
helpful.
have to
It's
make it
funny
work.
when I used to teach yoga or like dance and or just anything fitness, a big piece of advice I always gave to people was like, because they're like, oh, like I was going to and I never did. Or like I was going to work out today and I didn't. And I'm like, if you paid $20 to go to a class, you're probably not going to miss that class, you know, even though it's just $20. Some of us, that's a lot of money too.
Mhm.
And we don't want to
Right.
lose that 20. It's like, okay, like, yeah, like put some money energy behind it and you will be amazed at what is going to come out of you, you know? And I think it's also beautiful to like people don't want to give up their weekends, right? They're like, I work all week, like my weekends are for me, XYZ. I totally understand that. But maybe like what if you gave up one weekend a month to work on something for yourself? Or like had one late night, you know, and like maybe you get a little less sleep because I myself prioritize the heck out of my sleep. And one or two nights a month, if I lose a little bit of sleep, I'm gonna be okay. I'll be a little tired, but I'm also like building something for myself that's going to give me way more rest down the road, also, you know? So I find that to be extremely helpful and getting
Right.
into that mindset. Like this one
Mhm.
moment isn't going to, you know, be detrimental to me. Sometimes it can't be. And then maybe you should take rest. But, you know, we can find those times where maybe we push ourselves a little harder and things are okay.
100% agreed, and it's temporary. Yeah, the whole point of building a business, of starting UGC is that, like, we want our time freedom back, and so it's like, okay, maybe that requires 2 months, 3 months of you kind of grinding and, like, having to do 2 things at once, and that's kind of the reality of starting anything. It's like, okay, I just, like, I need to put my head down, I need to focus, I need to work, and this is gonna pay off a few months from now. That can be a hard thing to do, but I think for those of us who have done it, it's just like, "Oh my god, it's the best thing we've ever done."
There's times where when I focus on my UGC work, it almost feels like self-care
Mm,
because it gives back to me in such beautiful ways. Like it has allowed me to drop part-time to my work. It has given me a side stream of income. Even the products that I've received have benefited my life to some degree. And when
mhm.
I do get that time to focus on it, one, I feel accomplished, which is definitely a part of self-care, you know, making your like
Yeah.
giving yourself little wins throughout your world, but just knowing that I am creating something for myself that is going to give so much back to me, like my time, my freedom, money, creativity, a healthy push for myself to continue to grow, like that is self care, you know?
Mhm.
Mm.
Mhm. It's literally building self-trust, and, like, that is where so much of our confidence comes from, and, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Starting anything like UGC is, like, you're just literally building self-trust in yourself to, like, do what you say you're gonna do and to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish, and that, like, translates into other areas of your life too, where, like, you will build confidence.
100%.
Mhm.
I've actually experienced a lot of that. The fact that I can even be talking on this podcast right now, I don't know if I could have been able to do it without practicing UGC this last year. I was so
Yeah.
camera shy. I would get so bashful. And it was really awkward at first to talk to the camera. Anyone that's done UGC, you know, and as you get into it, you're going to experience a little bit of like cringe feeling or like I'm stumbling over my words or just, you know, having these little moments. And like that's totally okay. You just gotta do it and it gets easier over time. And you'll feel that leak out into conversations with strangers, or maybe you're pushing your own social media and now you feel comfortable talking to the camera on your own page, which is a whole other world.
Mhm.
But I feel, and
No.
even just pitching to brands, you know, I've even felt like UGC has helped me benefit my bodywork business, and I've been able to like pitch to clients different things or just reach out to like things
Mhm.
I want in my world. For example, I didn't actually get this, but I was saw this woman and she's offering this beautiful like surf and yoga retreat in Costa Rica. And I was like, she was looking for sponsors for products. And I was like, what if I did body work on a retreat like this or something? And I just reached out to her because you never
Yeah.
know. And UGC has been such a beautiful way of like, if you just reach out and ask, it's a yes or a no. And there's a 50-50 chance. And there's a lot of yeses out there. And this woman actually wasn't down for me to do body work on her retreat. But now I'm like, what if I just started pitching to this, like, retreats in general, to like offer body work on these retreats and then get to experience this beautiful setting with these beautiful people, And so yeah, it just can leak into so many different areas of your life, like you were saying, and give you that confidence boost that we didn't know we needed, or that was really holding us back, because business is all about just reaching out, asking, like throwing shots in the dark, and being okay with being declined. Yeah, rejection therapy is real. And it's so helpful though. Like, we need to, rejection is just redirection too.
Mhm.
Mm,
Mhm.
love it.
No, amen. Amen. Do you have, like, a favorite UGC, like, project or video or client that you've worked with so far?
Yeah, so I'm actually working with a brand right now. It's a longer term partnership, and it has a different setup than I've ever seen before. And it's a cacao company. It's called Aura Cacao. I absolutely love them. If you're into drinking cacao, I cannot recommend them enough. I actually have been like eyeing them for years just because I love their cacao. Before I even knew what UGC was, I was always into them.
Love that.
And they basically have a whole community working with their brand, which is really beautiful. And it's also an affiliate program, but not only like am I, if I post on my socials, getting an affiliate cut, but when they run ads, any purchase that is made through that your ad, you get a cut from.
Yeah,
And I
that's
think
cool.
that way everybody wins. And that way we're like really working together. Like, I really want to benefit them besides that. But like, because I love them as a company and just want to hype them up. But they also really want to like streamline you and like gas you up as well and be like, thank you. And so it feels like this beautiful give and take. And I also just feel so aligned with this brand. It really fits my personality and is something I can be really genuine about, which is crucial for me with UGC, because there's so much out there that we could be hyping up that maybe we don't feel aligned with. And I think it's really important
Mhm.
to stand behind your values. And people will feel that through your ads for sure. So they've
100%.
been, yeah, I hate to pick favorites, but Or Cacao, I love you. I'm actually new with them within the last like month or so. So I'm really excited to be working with them.
So fun. Yeah, it's a cool model too when they kind of do, like, affiliate cuts from the ads that they're running, because it's like you really want your content to perform too,
Yeah,
because it's like, "Okay, well, if my content is good, then I'm gonna make more money." And so it's kind of a good incentive for creators to really take the kind of content creation part seriously.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we also meet up like once a month online and have like a video call, which I think is really beautiful, to talk about
Mhm.
what's working and what's not. And you just feel a little more connected to the brand and less transactional. So yeah,
Yeah,
by far, I love working with them so far.
I love that. Do
Mhm.
you know how many brands you've worked with, like, since starting UGC?
Oh gosh, I don't know that off the top of my head. More than 10, honestly. I'm actually in the works with more brands right now than ever before. And I'm not, I don't want to say I'm getting overwhelmed, but my email is popping. And I'm like, wow, like so many things to respond to. Like, what a beautiful problem to have.
Mhm.
More than 10, but like less than 20.
And have you had, like, repeat clients where you've, like, worked with them multiple times, or are they mostly one-off jobs, or how does that look?
Yeah, so I actually haven't had any repeats yet. I'm talking to a couple brands and we're working on a repeat. They're going to finish running their current campaigns and we're going to start new ones. So that feels really good. A lot of that is on me though. I felt kind of shy to reach back out after my first few videos. And I just now started reaching back out to brands. Some of them bought content like usage rights for a few months. So, I didn't want to like jump the gun, but maybe that's probably fine too, because they're
Mhm.
already like thinking about their next move. Might as well be a part of that. But there are three brands that we're just now beginning the conversations of working together again. So I'm
Nice.
glad the content did well for them to the point where they want to do it again. And I've been really trying to call in like long-term partnerships or long-term
Mhm.
term contracts and retainer clients. And I'm just now starting to see more of that. And I'm feeling more confident recently to initiate that as well.
Mhm.
So, of course, like when I start focusing on it, it comes back to me.
Yeah.
I do think it could have happened sooner if I put more energy in it, but I was really still just trying to get the groove of like consistent clients and like okay, now I work this much with this. I'm still doing body work. I have in-person clients all the time. Like, how do we
Yeah.
take care of everybody? And yeah, I also have been just checking back in with like my portfolio and updating that and kind of like restructuring now that I'm about a year in and feeling confident and I'm past the imposter syndrome, feeling more ready to like take it to another level or what's next, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, 100%. With long-term clients and, like, retainer contracts, I feel like I see those happen a lot for creators, like, later down the line, so, like, 6 months plus of, like, doing UGCs typically when they, like, start to see those, where in the beginning, you're really building up your skill set, you're building relationships, and a lot of those retainer clients come from relationships that you've
Mhm.
formed with brands that then, you turn that into a long-term partnership. Have you landed some four-figure deals at all?
Yes, I have.
Nice.
My first brand deal actually is so funny. It was I did the math wrong when I sent them the pricing, and that my first deal would have been a four-figure deal. And by the time I noticed, I was way too shy to be like, "Oh, oops!" Like I messed up the pricing, and I was like, "Whatever." I was still getting paid great.
Wait, no, that's so real though, like, and doing the math wrong, like, anybody who's in my program listening to this is probably like, "Oh my god, no," literally, because math is so hard and trying to figure out, like, the packages and doing everything right. I'm just like, "Oh my god, what am I doing?" And in the beginning, it's so hard, so that's actually so funny.
It was so funny, but you know what? It's so I was like, yes, like it was just under four figures. It was 900 was my first deal ever, which was pretty
Nice.
wild. I loved that. It was incredible. But yeah, I did land one four-figure deal with a brand. And they just wanted many videos and then usage rights for all of them. And I believe it was 60 days of usage rights for each video. And they bought like four videos. And they were really fun to work with. And they're actually someone I'm talking with right now about starting another campaign with. So that
Incredible.
was really exciting and it did really well for them. It sounds like they're almost done running the usage rights that they had purchased from me. So I'm waiting to hear back soon about like end results and end ROAS and stuff. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I had a funny moment the other day. This might be fun to add on to here for anyone that's listening. I had my biggest brand deal recently slip through my fingers, and it was like honestly this great moment in my UGC career to just accept that that happened and that's okay and not
Yep.
sit and dwell. This brand wanted one video, the usage rights for 2 years. And
Mm,
I was really excited to work with them. It felt really aligned with my bodywork business. I was going to able to use this product on my clients. It was this really awesome massage tool. I'm not going to drop them on here. I still love their product. And right when I sent the contract over, they're like, "Oh, switching gears. We're not going to go with you anymore. Sorry." And I was like,
oh,
"Oh no! Like what?" But
such a bummer.
that's business. They haven't
It
signed the
happened.
contract yet. They're just going with gifted collabs for now. I guess they didn't read their budget right. And that's very real. Like we're working with real people who make mistakes and yeah, overextend the budget, bring it to their boss. And they're like, oh yeah, like we can't do that, even though they were excited about it. And
Right.
but again, rejection is redirection. And I was like, well, if they wanted that from me, someone else does. So I was like, let me go pitch a lot more and get that deal back from someone else.
Amen.
So it honestly propelled me. And in the past, that might have crumbled me, to be honest. But the
Mm,
rejection therapy that UGC has like put me through, and now it's like motivating me to like get after it harder, which is a really fun thing to
yeah.
watch. And so if you ever get knocked on a deal, whoever's listening, don't worry about it. It is okay. Wasn't meant to be like maybe you dodged a
Mhm.
bullet. Honestly, who knows? So
So true. I had one of those too a couple months ago. I had like a $3,000 deal fall through and I was like they literally were just like, "We're so sorry. We like decided to go another direction or something." And I was like, "Oh my god.
you're like, that hurts, but cool.
No."
It's okay.
But yeah, I'm just like, that's business. It happens and like you just pick back up and then you go pitch more people and that's life.
It's
But
like,
I like your example too or like your story cuz like yeah, you've worked with what 10, 15 brands and that's I feel like if someone hears that and they're like, "Oh, you've been doing this now for a while," like that doesn't necessarily sound like that many
right.
brands, but also when you think about, like, how much some of these deals are paying, it's like, that makes sense, right? And you were initially thinking, like, "It would be amazing if I made 200, 300,
Mhm.
$500 a month with UGC." So it's like even one deal at $900, if you did one a month, like, that's life-changing for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you just got a letter in the mail from the IRS and they were like, "Oh, like something we messed up something on your taxes last year. Here's $900." You'd be like, "Oh, heck yeah." Like
Yeah.
that's so helpful this month. Like put it to your credit card, book that flight, buy the dog. I don't know, like all the things, right? So it is, yeah. And again, I have taken like a full month or two, not all at once, but like off of UGC. Life got
Right.
crazy. I didn't feel like it. I was feeling uninspired. Probably should have kept working on it, but I'm a human, I
Mhm.
get devastated sometimes or like uninspired. And but every time I pick it up, it gets going again. I'm actually have like 8 brand deals in the works currently. I keep
Right.
looking at this list I have right here. Like I'm like, oh, it's right there. Like, so yeah, it does like snowball. And it also, yeah, it you don't have to be doing it all in to do it. Like if there's
Mm-mm.
one thing I could get people to get out of this episode is like you don't have to do it fully. Like you don't have to change your identity. You don't have to change your career. Like you can just like add this in and make it work for you. And the more you work with it and craft it, it does feel like arts and crafts, like crafting your schedule or seeing what works and what doesn't for yourself and taking what does work and keep going and more doors will open and it just turns into this beautiful process that is just so fulfilling. It is so fulfilling in so many ways. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I think I have, like, 2 more questions for you.
Yes.
First question, you mentioned this list. I wanna hear about the list. So you have, like, what, a couple brand deals that are in the works? Tell me about them.
Yeah. So one of them is actually a 3-month contract, which is really
Nice.
exciting. I don't know if I can name drop on here.
You don't have to, it's okay.
Okay, yeah, I was like, I feel like I want like some confidentiality for them. Very important. But I can say like what kind of industry they're in. Like one is a CBD company, working
Okay.
on a 3-month contract with them. I'm really excited to work with them. High quality, again, very aligned with like the ingredients that they offer. There's an affiliate deal that I'm working with right now and they're like it's all like herbal medicine, which is really fun. I'm a wellness girly. I don't know if you've already gotten that vibe from me on this episode. So anything wellness or something that is nourishing for yourself, that's like all my deals. They've all been like yoga brands or like tea or like
Yeah, I love that.
something in that niche. That's definitely like where I've headed. And a couple of them, they're like, oh, yes, we're definitely in on this, but we're gone for a week on vacation. It's summertime. We're going to pick back up with you. What are your prices? We're going to get this going. So I'm really excited. And a couple
Nice.
massage products as well. And that's what's really beautiful too. If you feel like you don't have a niche, like what do you do for work? Like
Yeah.
even if you don't love that job, like just start there. Because if you can talk about it, like you can advertise for it. And then people will feel that from you and want to work with you because you have knowledge there.
So true. And I always tell people this, and I've told you guys this in the program, it's like, even if you resonate with me because of, like, the outdoors and travel stuff, and maybe you, like, wanna do outdoor and travel content, or maybe your goal is just to travel more, like, that doesn't mean you just can only work with outdoor and travel brands.
No.
Like, that is not you can work with anybody to fuel the lifestyle that you want. Like, you can work with home goods companies, you can work with pet companies, you can work with tech companies, apps, like, there's literally endless amounts of brands and niches out there, and you don't have to just do, like, travel and outdoor content if your reason for doing UGC is, like, wanting to travel more. And I always say this because 'cause I'm like, you are gonna limit yourself if you're just like, "No, but just the outdoor and travel stuff is what I wanna do." And I'm like, "Okay, you can go that route, but, like, just know that there's so much more out there."
Yeah, it's funny when I first started, I thought that would like be my niche, but yoga
Mhm.
companies naturally wanted me. I think they started looking at my socials and saw that I'm like been a yogi for 10 years and a dedicated practitioner or just like the bodywork perspective. Like they want me to promote it then because it comes from a place of education. I kind of have like somewhat of an authoritative figure in that realm, being able to spit knowledge out. And I thought I was
Yeah.
going to do all this travel stuff and I haven't yet, but a deal that I'm working on right now that's really exciting. My partner and I and his parents, they came to visit us and we stayed at an Airbnb in the Columbia River Gorge. Or we're actually in Washington and White Salmon. It's across from Hood River. Anyways, and I was like, while I'm here, let me just get some shots of this cute little Airbnb and put a video together and send it to them and see if they want it, you know? And it took
Sure.
me maybe an hour to like get the shots, put it together. And I reached out to them. I actually forgot. This was like 2 months ago. And I just reached out to them and I was like, I stayed there a couple months ago. Like, I loved the spot. I'm a content creator. I put together this video. Like, do you want to see it and maybe purchase it for your socials? Or like, let this video serve as an example and I can come back and stay there and get more content for you.
Mhm.
And they're interested. And so we're chatting as well. So super
Yay.
fun. And that opens this whole other realm of like Airbnb or travel. I love that you
Mhm.
do like Airbnbs and VRBOs. I think that is so cool to get a paid stay somewhere and like go. Yeah, literally, that's this whole podcast, paid to travel. Yeah, we already know. It's
That's
so
the goal,
beautiful.
baby. That's the
Yeah.
goal.
So fun too. Like what a good like life
Ugh,
balance there. Like go travel for work, but also get playtime and a good stay and make money. Done. Say less.
was there anything else that we didn't cover that you wanted to talk about today?
I just really want everyone to know that you can create something from nothing, even if you feel like you have no skill set in this kind of realm. Like, whatever your work may be, maybe this podcast even inspires you to do something else online or run with some other business idea, but probably UGC because that's where the topic is. But if you just put energy into something, and you get one little win, you're going to want to put more energy into it and you're going to keep getting wins.
Mhm.
There's going to be some losses along the way, but like where attention goes, energy flows. And if you work at something long enough, you're probably going to start to see some benefit from it. And it can be real for you, even though it feels so out of reach. Like making money online for me felt like a fantasy fairy tale land. And now I'm inspired on how to make money in all these other ways online that I would not have the confidence in if I didn't start this, you know? So just do the dang thing,
Yeah.
just try it, let yourself flop and flail and fail as many times as you need, and it will be okay. You will be okay. And the cringe will end once you start seeing benefit. You're not going to care what anyone thinks, and it's going to change your life.
No, literally. And I feel like some people get in their heads about like, oh, is my family and friends gonna see these videos or like what? It's just, dude, nobody cares.
No.
Nobody cares what you're doing. And if they do, then that's their problem and not yours. And you're building a life of your dreams. So I feel like the reward is worth that.
Yes, I actually saw this reel recently and it really hit home for me, kind of cheesy, but someone was like, "Oh, you're trying to make it happen on social media. How cringe." And the response was, "It's more cringe to watch other people live the life you want to and you're not even trying," or something,
Ooh,
and that really hit home and gave me
yeah.
a lot of inspo. I was like, "Yeah, true. True. I could just sit here and sulk that these people online are working from Bali or wherever they are. And I'm like, I want that, but it's not attainable for me. And it's like, just start figuring it out. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's not cringe. It's not cringe to do something for yourself and try. Like it's
Mhm.
cringe to not try anything ever, Yeah.
So true. Ugh, I love that. Thank you so much, Jess, for being on the podcast today. I
Thank
really
you so much
appreciate
for
it.
having me.
Yay. Okay. For everyone listening, I hope you took like a good nugget from this conversation and felt a little bit inspired and encouraged, maybe on your own UGC journey. And Jess, if we want to connect with you, how can people find you? Are you on Instagram? Where are you?
The best way to find me is Instagram. I'm Bodywork Bay. You'll get lots of tips on wellness and massage and just a little glimpse at my life frolicking around the Northwest out here. And of course, some UGC content as well.
Beautiful. I will link your Instagram below. So if anyone wants to go follow her and connect with her and see her live, you can go and give her a follow. But thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Pages Travel podcast. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you, Jess.
Thank you. Ciao. Thanks, everyone.
you want to become a UGC creator and get paid to travel, then my UGC Accelerator is for you. Fast track your UGC career with over 40 video trainings, live weekly Q&A calls, and direct access to me as your UGC coach. You'll get personalized feedback, accountability, and a proven 3-month roadmap to start getting paid UGC deals. Plus, an active community of over 100 other creators also on their UGC journeys. Some students have earned over $2,000 in UGC deals within weeks. And I have students like Lene, who quit her nannying job just 4 months after starting the program because of UGC. Or Katie, who's made over $12,000 in her first few months of pitching. Plus, there's a no-brainer guarantee. If you don't make back your investment in the program, I'll give you a full refund. So if you're ready to take UGC seriously, click the link in the description to learn more.